Recording is on.
Hello, and welcome to the DXbiz weekly call for Monday, 20th of June, 2022. Um, no new member intros and no presentations today, but we will have a few discussions. One is about staking ETH and some opportunities that have been discussed in previous calls. Switching to .limo with Swapper and others. And NFT NYC or NFT NYC and the NYC Crypto Week. There are a few DXDAO members there that are going to be attending a few things. And then, under DX events, we have some good news about ETHCC. We have Hacker Soul Bogota that's coming up, I guess, later this year. And under DX Ventures, we have the Doing Good proposal. So yeah, I guess we can start with the staking ETH opportunity. And yeah, do you want to discuss this guy? There are a few.
Sure, but we don't have to go into too much detail.
Yeah.
But there's obviously ongoing treasury management that DXDAO does. We've been doing it. It involves staking ETH, and then we have dollar runway. And we were just discussing before we started the recording that with the markets behaving the way they are, there's new opportunities and then there's new risks that appear for things related to ETH and staking ETH. And we've had some of those discussions based on the plan, the distribution that DXDAO holds, and then plans for future holding of staked ETH and how to treat that. And then there's also similar discussions of like the dollar runway, which of the dollar tokens and things to hold, and then there's opportunities that arise there, and then there's also new risks that arise. And so this is all part of, I guess, treasury management, who and Dave can speak to it. This may not be the call to go into details, but it's good to be aware of, and it's highly related to like things going on in the space. So it's good to talk about those and communicate those. But Dave, you want to speak?
Yeah, he's raising his hand.
Sure, I'll keep it brief, but I know there was some discussion in the forum about Lido trading at a discount. So I actually spoke with the Stakewise guys this morning, and they've actually kind of changed their position. So then they're not aiming to maintain the peg anymore either, because it's not efficient for them in this current market situation. And so as of right now, staked ETH from Stakewise is also trading at a 5% discount on Uniswap. And on Stakewise, you actually get a pure ETH discount because rewards are issued as a separate token, while in Lido, the discount includes reward tokens. So, with that in mind, the discounts currently seem to be pretty much the same between Lido and Stakewise. And that might also reopen a bit the discussion about, what tokens to acquire and our, interest in going for the more decentralized option. It is, for Stakewise, at this point, it doesn't even matter so much. Of course, we've been trying to work with them, given that we support what they do. Buying on the secondary market is not really, game changing for them. Of course, their goal is to issue more ETH, but of course, in the current market situation, we have that opportunity, and we could reevaluate a bit which tokens we want to acquire. Of course, the idea was to get 2,000 ETH of Stakewise initially, then the staked ETH Lido depeg happened. Now all staked ETH assets are kind of depegged somewhat. And so that's just something to revisit, yeah. And, I'll leave it short and sweet and leave it there.
Yeah, I was just going to write this, but I'll just say it. Like, if we do that, like what Ross just said, if we like DCA into all those staked ETH, I mean, this is strategically, it makes sense for us. And we could like leverage this for like marketing purposes. DXDAO is here, like trying, not necessarily trying to restore the peg, but, we as an organization believe in, the future of staked ETH, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, the big thing is Dave's new information, though, that Stakewise ETH also has a discount when you trade on Uniswap. That's very important new information, because that was a big factor in the discussion of like, should we do that when we could do it on Lido and make a bunch of extra money? And like, do we give that up? And now if they're similar discounts, then then that becomes less of an important factor, and then it makes sense to be diversified, give the discount across, the 2 or potentially 3. Does Rocket Pool also have a discount for that reason, Dave, or not?
I actually need to check, because Rocket Pool, at Rocket Pool, the price completely deviates from Ether anyway. So I have to check.
What do you mean completely deviates? That sounds bad.
Like Rocket Pool just becomes more expensive, so they don't issue new rewards as a token. The original token you stake just becomes more expensive because it kind of like includes the reward.
Gotcha. But like, if you can figure out if it's theoretically trading at a discount, right?
Yeah, exactly. I just can't go on CoinGecko and see if the price is different, because it's always going to be different. That's why. But I'll check.
Just through Tejan Spartan update, who I actually literally think is the reason that Stakewise abandoned the peg. I think he says that Rocket Pool is an outlier, that they're basically still pegged. But definitely agree with Sky said that, like, the fact that this is not specific to Lido, right? It's all staked ETH. And so, like, as a reminder, there is a past signal proposal for 2,000 ETH staking with Stakewise. The first proposal to execute that just went through. And we haven't, I don't think it's actually been acquired, but we'll do that maybe today after this call. And then there is another proposal, the second 500 of that 2,000, that is boosted and would, I think, has 7 days for voting. And I honestly actually wrote up something this morning about doing another separate proposal to redirect some of the remaining 1,500 ETH, including the proposal that's live today, maybe voting against that proposal, so that ETH that was earmarked for Stakewise, that would be used to acquire Lido because it's at a discount. But now, I don't think that makes any sense, because I think the concerns about Lido, about centralization, are still real and very true. And really the only reason it was being to get Lido ETH was because it was trading at such a discount. But if Stakewise is at the same discount, then yeah, I don't know if there's anything that needs to change from the existing plan and strategies that was laid out in the recent staking proposal, which is to stake 2,000 with Stakewise. Presumably they're all going to be maybe around the same amount, when everything's settled. And I think they are kind of trading 94, 95% for both of them, for all of them.
Yeah, this is a unique factor in DAO, and true proper DAO treasury management, where we have these proposals, and the first one was a signal proposal, right? And didn't actually move money. And then we have to do the proposals that actually move money, but you get new information all along the way between the period of when, maybe the signal proposal passed and then the action proposals passed, which then have to go to the multi-sig and then take another action, and the markets can still move, or new information can still come. So doing to change the strategy that the signal proposal passed, which then DXDAO is supposed to execute that, but there's new information, doing new signal proposals. Talking about it in the forum is always the fastest way to do it, but then doing new signal proposals, like the draft you were writing up, Chris, is pretty important. But it's and then if people were observing from the outside or not paying very close attention, they could see potentially actions being taken that kind of are confusing when you just read one of the proposals, if you don't have all of the updated proposals and information as we get new information. So it shows how tricky it is, but it's making it as transparent as possible and as clear to follow the decision making and pass as possible, I think is key for the on the actual on-chain proposals. But it is gets complex quickly.
I was just about to say that this, what you just described, this complexity, could be interesting to sort of solve this with UX in DXGov. yeah, like how sort of like proposals are changing as they go, or yeah, I guess things are changing.
Yeah, I won't derail us too much, but I think we've put some thought into that in terms of even just having the forum in your governance application will give you a lot of opportunities to highlight and make proposals more fluid. But if people have thoughts on how that could be better, let us know, because it's still very much in development.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, maybe if you share like what you've been thinking right now, I guess it's in the chat, but if, I don't know, maybe like a forum post that specifically discusses this and how to present it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then related to that, I guess we mentioned briefly before starting, like similar discussions around dollar stable or stable tokens, whether it's RAI or USDT or USDC or DAI. DXDAO has, I think Dave was saying there's going to be a forum post about this soon, but yeah, narrowing the strategy for, I guess, what DXDAO is in favor of. Our plan up till now has been diversification among a whole bunch of different ones, and that as we get new information is changing live. And so putting more thought into like which are the ones that DXDAO would prefer to hold, and then taking actions towards moving towards that direction is important, just regarding what is supposed to be like safe runway for DXDAO, and all of a sudden maybe some of it's not as safe as people thought it was. So keep that in mind too. I don't know if anyone had anything else to add on those. Otherwise, yeah, we can move on.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess the next topic is sort of the limo switch from .link, which is been unstable. We've discussed this several times in the past. So yeah, I don't know, like
maybe I could chime in here.
Yeah.
So we're doing similar things to what DXDAO is doing, I guess, on the website, but for Swapper. So I think some things we could do immediate action is just ask. I put up an image with all the links. We should ask owners of the site to link to .limo instead of .link. I think that's the biggest factor we can do. But other things we could do is just strengthen our SEO. I don't think we've focused any SEO on our websites. And I think if we just guide Google what is right and what is wrong, and Google can start rank the right site on search result. Right now, if you search for Swapper or DXStats or DXDAO, the first result's always .link, and it's broken. You can't go in there. We had people on Discord coming in and saying, "Hey, I feel rugged. Did you rug? Is Swapper dead?" I mean, there's a bunch of comments, right? People think it's dead. I think, yeah, from our side, we should change all links from DXDocs to website to the landing page to always have .limo, and ask our partners to also change the links. But other than that, I think an action we could do just look into the SEO. I'm happy to try this with Swapper first, see how that goes, and then DXDAO could just copy what we did to better.
Yeah, thanks. And I just put that on here because some of us were on the Swapper call, and there's obviously a clear discussion, and there's now a strategy, and it was mainly focused on Swapper.eth. But it's really important. I don't know. Someone probably knows. Chris probably knows. Like, there's probably like 9 or 10 DXDAO ENS sites or pages that use it, and the strategy that we're going to apply with Swapper, we really need like an overall strategy and coordination around doing that for all of everyone we use. Swapper is probably the most used, most important one, but and like you said, you could either first try to do like the plan you come up with for Swapper.eth.limo, and then we could try to replicate that, or we could try to do all of them together, because there's going to be people that link to Swapper that also linked to DXDAO.eth and Omen and stuff. And so it would, for those people that were asking to switch things, it would make sense to ask overall rather than just for Swapper and then come back later.
sure.
So we probably have a consolidated strategy. Yeah.
I mean, we could. I mean, right now I'm just using like free to use tools or like trials to see what is going on and who's linking to what. But we could do like a top 100 list where we could just reach out and see. As an example, what's their name? ENS domains basically always links to .link, and it's dead. I'm not sure what their plan is, but it is pretty bad from their side also, right? To link to something that is always dead almost. If we reach out to them and change it for Swapper, then obviously it's worth it to change it for the rest of the products. I'm not even sure if it's possible, right? But we should definitely have that kind of list where we say, yeah, this website has these links, which includes all the products, right? So I could help out save these lists, and then we could try to compile them into one list where we could just contact them once.
How crazy? Like, just like wondering how crazy this is that ENS gave the .link thing to Cloudflare and it just like completely shattered. Like, yeah, I don't know, broke half of the internet basically, of like half of the Web3 infrastructure, I guess.
I mean, this can happen again. I mean, all the work we're doing now, I'm not saying that limo guys will do something. I mean, it can happen again, right? .limo, all the work we're doing, and we push everything to .limo, and then one day, .limo is slow or bad, or so we need to prepare ourselves like to not be too dependent on these things that we don't control, or it's not even rep holders to controlling these. So maybe, I don't know, preparing for the next step, like how can we not be dependent on these stuff? Can we work together with, let's say, ENS to make ENS official? Like, can we push that thing to be so it's built into like every browser? Because the day .eth becomes like native in the browsers, then we need to do all this work again, right? We need to change all the .limo to .eth again. So this will happen more times.
So one of the things a year and a half ago, to make examples is we were trying to push the, like even on our homepage when we were linking to the products, we were linking to like swapper.eth and omen.eth. And we wanted to lead with that, like use MetaMask to resolve to the actual just swapper.eth, assuming you have MetaMask on your browser. And then if you didn't, then there's a side link that says like, if you aren't in like a Web3 browser that can resolve to ENS, click this link, and then it used like swapper.eth.link. So like the what we'd really want is people to resolve the ENSs like through the easiest mechanism they actually have like on their own computer. And that you could do that in Status Wallet, you can do that in MetaMask, you can do that with a handful of other ones. And then the backup was use ETH.link. But I don't know, we basically abandoned that because overall it was a worse user experience for people getting to our products, I think. But it sounds like in the future that may become easier for people to do. But in the meantime, we are leaning into into limo. We're moving away from .link, and we should make that more public and more clear and just tell people that very regularly. Like once we take the steps to make this move, we should, along with stressing how DXDAO uses ENS, we should say why we're using .limo, and there is also an option to resolve it yourself. But we should get more awareness around this because it's one of the most unique things that DXDAO does, I think.
I think something we could do for all our sites is to have, like, when you go to let's say swapper.eth.limo, we will have like there's a place where you could click and you can see all the different places where Swapper can be resolved. So let's say .link or .limo, or if there's more options in the future, and you see if they're online or offline, and then you see what the native link is, right? This way people knows, oh, this is the different ways I can go to Swapper, and this is the one I am on right now. I mean, obviously this could be faked if someone's scamming or whatever, but I think this is like good visualization of what am I on, and is this like, what is the difference between going on .eth or going to .limo, right? I think Tornado Cash has a place where you could click and you see all the links, right? It's on the front page. It doesn't explain anything, but you kind of understand, like, this is the different ways you can go to the site, and then yeah, the user can decide.
Yeah, I guess interesting, and this is, yeah, I feel like, yeah, like you guys said, we need to be more public about this and be sort of like the leaders in this, because we are. I guess the question is, how do we communicate this and how do we work with this? And I think, yeah, this partnership with .limo is, one of the first things, and yeah, we need to figure out how to be vocal. Yeah, maybe moving on to the next topic.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Now, just real quick, related to that, and yeah, some of the limo guys are here, but they've been funding limo based on basically some grants. I think EF has given them some grants. I don't know if other people have, but given DXDAO's use of and and leadership in the ENS space, and this tool that enables us to allow people to even use our products is, I think, even if it's some small amount, I think it could be interesting for DXDAO to officially give a grant and support like that type of tool that is being built, especially since it's grant fund.
So .limo guys is here.
Yeah.
Can we ask them what they feel about all of this? Obviously,
yeah,
they work with this. So yeah, if anyone wants to speak about .link, .limo conversion, and also the future of do we need to do this again, and what can we expect? They're not prepared, obviously.
No,
we can't
sorry,
hear you.
we can't hear you.
Maybe you need to refresh.
Try going out and coming back in, maybe. Yeah. Is he on here twice? Sid, maybe go out. And
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, and so just to be clear, I'm not the developer. I'm the community person here. So my brother would be the one that is more technical. But as far as like grants go, so yes, we received a small grant from the Ethereum Foundation and from ENS. But really, other than that, I mean, it's been hard to work with ENS. I don't want to get into that. The Ethereum Foundation has helped us through like AWS credits, and they have another developer that they're basically have put like on a contract role on like a quarterly basis. But outside of that, yeah, it's been, it's people, when you have a product and something works, it seems a lot harder to get funding than like if they're waiting for a product to come out, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So like the fact that it's working is almost a negative in order to like get grant funding and things like that. You're saying?
I mean, I would say because it's free, like we're not, we're never going to charge people to use the gateway. There's features or things that, after we, the public good aspect is first and foremost, but, there are ways that potentially we can provide, anonymized analytics to try to get people off of Google Analytics. But, it's a really hard thing to monetize. So
one thing I'm like thinking is Like, is there any maybe talk with ENS about replacing that link or taking over that link? Cloudflare is not really doing it.
No, I don't. So my understanding is, Virgil Griffith, which has his own backstory, he ran like ETH.link, originally was the owner. To my understanding, when he went to prison and I guess got out, like on his bail, he transferred it to Cloudflare, and then Cloudflare now runs it sort of just as like I don't know. They just run it for ENS. I'm sorry. Yeah, they just run it on ENS, and they don't really have any. To my understanding, like ENS doesn't really have any control over it, doesn't really care, and Cloudflare is just sort of meh about it. Like they're just, there's no concern to them. They don't. It's just secondary.
Have anyone tried caring about it? Like if we propose, like, hey, we have a team to work on this and want to make it better. Have anyone gone to ENS or Cloudflare to try do this?
Well, I'm trying to get my brother on the call.
I'm wondering.
I just don't think it's going to matter. Like Cloudflare has they are working. They have Link kind of working. They have changed some stuff with it, but for the most part, Cloudflare really has no incentive to make it better because they don't make money on it. The only reason they run it is because they can just say, well, we're supporting this, infrastructure. But I really don't think anybody cares about it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there is a way similar to the way what the Graph did with sort of like decentralizing this infrastructure. If there's an interesting way to do the same thing with, the .limo and creating a whole ecosystem around this thing and, basically allowing, people to run sort of like relayers and get paid with tokens, and then you'll have to pay a small fee in order to, I guess access websites. I don't know, kind of like spitballing around that.
Yeah, my brother is here now, so if you want to speak on the decentralizing aspect.
Yeah, sure. Can you give me a little context? I'm sorry, we had another call for something unrelated to this, but I rescheduled that. So can you just give me a quick summary of what's being discussed?
I guess basically decentralizing an infrastructure like ETH.link or ETH.limo where it's not controlled by a central entity and somehow token holders. It's our, decentralized concept that we discuss.
Yeah, so we've talked about this a lot, and we keep kind of coming back to a few core problems that I think are inherent to this sort of plan. And the main issue there is around the Web2 DNS name. So in this case, star.eth.limo, that's obviously it has to be owned by someone and operated, and records defined that then point to some type of ingress that is able to facilitate and handle that traffic. And then similarly with certificates. So there's got to be kind of a central entity, given the nature of how certificate authorities work, where we're able to retrieve those from Let's Encrypt and then terminate TLS on our side. I don't know how you can get around or decompose that into a more decentralized concept, just simply because of the nature of how those things work. However, it is absolutely possible to at least take the back ends of this, which would be, basically the reverse proxies and all of that stuff, IPFS clusters, everything that could definitely be run by the community, so that it's not just entirely something that's within our custody. And I think that's where the idea of content integrity and verification becomes even more important. If you start allowing, there has to be a trust factor, I guess, that's established within whatever this protocol, whatever form that would end up taking, just to give those guarantees that if there are other people operating this, that there's not a way for them to maliciously interfere with the excuse me, sorry, someone was texting me, to maliciously interfere with the request and response payloads. So those are, I think just at a high level, some of the pitfalls with trying to build something out like this. I think it's definitely worth an effort. But I think, another kind of serious issue here is that once you start getting into pretty deeply technical solutions for something like this, and even with, pairing it with, some sort of browser that has these resolution capabilities, you kind of start obviating the need to decentralize the infrastructure itself for that kind of Web 2.5 thing that we're providing at the moment. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it. It is a complicated problem, and I don't have like a great solution to it, just simply because there are all of these various shortcomings that would have to be addressed with the way that kind of all this fundamental infrastructure and Web 2 protocols and the way that they operate. And I am happy to elaborate further on any of that stuff, but that's just the way that I've been seeing it recently.
Yeah, is this written somewhere, like in one of the forums? Like I don't know, interesting to get maybe in one of the conferences to get, I don't know, a roundtable of people who are going to be discussing about this. I don't know, like the graph people and ENS and stuff like that. Because this is an interesting problem.
I don't think we've written anything down specifically about it. I mean, I know it's been discussed, and there's probably some Discord post or something out there with it. But that probably would be a good idea, though, to get a more technical audience to be able to have this discussion and kind of ideate and brainstorm around. So yeah, that's something I think that we could try to at least get a rough overview for, and then try to get a discussion started there.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, do we want to talk about like other things?
I think we're out of time. I have a lot of questions and thoughts, but I guess the time is not on our side now.
Yeah. So yeah, do you guys want to mention maybe some of the like ETHCC plans? Maybe I think that's kind of like immediate.
Yeah, so the good, well, I believe the good news that maybe Nathan was referring to is the venue for the happy hour kind of breakout discussion events. That's going to be with Gnosis Chain, DXDAO, and GitPoap. Yeah, we were able to secure this really cool indoor-outdoor venue that's quite close to ETHCC. Nathan, and it's Nathan, to confirm, it's for the Wednesday, right, from 4 to 8 p.m.
Yeah, we got the rooftop from 4 till 8. We'll now still have outstanding to sort out the catering, but we'll soon have the Eventbrite ready, and people will be able to sign up.
Yeah, and so that we were discussing with the organizers. I think the capacity is around 150 people, maybe 200. But the idea is to get, well, initially share with kind of, there's a Gnosis ecosystem chat, Telegram group. So getting people that are close to the Gnosis chain ecosystem that would also be familiar with DXDAO products on Gnosis chain and things. And then kind of builders from the GitPoap ecosystem and from GitHub and things. And so the three organizers together, we're gonna have this kind of Eventbrite, which we didn't use last time for our event, but because what we don't want is just like everyone that's going to be in Paris just signing up for this event and just randomly filling up the Eventbrite. We really want to curate it way more than that. So the Eventbrite would be to maybe collect interest from people, but we can also hand invite people that we want specifically to be there, that we know will be in Paris. And so as we as we get closer and you're talking to people, and there are people that you want to specifically invite, we'll be able to send them or either add them to the list or send them a specific sign up form that will allow them access or something. So we want to make it public. It will exist on like the shared calendar of things that are happening that week, but it won't just be anyone can just like automatically sign up for immediate access to this event. It will be it will take some curation by the 3 teams that are organizing it. So that's the idea around the event, to make sure that we get the crowd there of the people that we specifically would like to be there. Yeah, that's the update for now.
Cool. So I guess we can stop the recording and maybe finish the call.